Warrior of the Elements, has the most number of changes and has received a lot of new and exciting changes. You raise me up! We're back at it again. Hope you guys aren't getting tired of this because there's so many classes to go over from all these new books that have been coming out. We're going to be fully spiritual today. We're not going to go off into 15-minute tangents about the Ranger again. We're going to stay focused, and that's because we're looking at the classes that really just want to get in tune with the better parts of ourselves. And also because I got my medication this week and I haven't had it for like 2 weeks. Before we get into this though, I mean, I can tell you guys have been sweating recently, right? Well, don't I got the solution for you. I'm going to be honest. Fancy underwear is just that. Fancy, breathable, quick drying, moisture wicking, anti-odor underwear. Oh yeah, I forgot about the unbearable heat of the sun. I really wish I had resistance to fire damage about now. What's this? Fancy, breathable, quick-drying, moisture-wicking, anti-odor MeUndies. I attune to the power of MeUndies to give me resistance to fire damage and make me look super cool. And also, okay, these are actually really nice. I like them. Look, with heat like this, you gotta be prepared with MeUndies. MeUndies has something for everyone this summer. Their micro-modal fabric is breathable and comfortable. MeUndies also has tons of styles, so you can get whatever you want, look good, and feel good. Summer is coming. Be prepared with MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/fireball. That's 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/fireball. Monk time! I'm a Monk enjoyer. I haven't played a lot of Monk, but I have DM'd a lot of Monk, and I gotta say, Monk is just one of the coolest classes. Hot take, I guess, because apparently the D&D communities never liked Monk. I genuinely think some of the coolest flavor in any kind of character that you can get comes from Monk. The fact that you can run across water, run up buildings, do a bunch of punches in a turn, you can like catch arrows and then throw them back at people. It's so cool. Now, where Monk doesn't keep up is in damage or health or AC or pretty much everything in every other class. But in my opinion, that has been always offset by the fact that the Monk has so much maneuverability. Being able to run up walls, not take fall damage, run across water, dash as a bonus action, create a lot of mobility with the Monk so that they can either close distances or get away from threats. Monk is all about positioning. So what I'm looking forward to today with Monk is having that same maneuverability, keeping that identity of being really versatile as a fighter. The 2024 Player's Handbook brings the return of one of the most distinctive classes in Dungeons & Dragons. Oh yeah, that is such cool art. There are words I would like to use to describe this art and this character that has been illustrated here, but I can't because YouTube will get mad at me. It's a gold dragonborn. That is such a cool representation of a gold dragonborn. The aura of this art right here. Oh my god. Martial arts, level 1. Oh, we're starting off with martial arts level 1. All right. Changes to the Monk come early with adjustments to martial arts. The biggest change is that the Monk's martial arts die starts one size larger at 1d6 and now goes all the way up to 1d12. Yes! Yes! Yeah! Thank you, everybody. We did it. We did it, everybody. Thank you. I literally, I don't care. Honestly, there's not much else they could do here. This is the greatest change. Thank you, everybody. Glad we're all here. Next up, Monk weapons have been simplified. Now, any martial melee weapon with the light property qualifies as a Monk weapon. Thank God. Finally, you can now use dexterity instead of strength when attempting to grapple or shove a creature. You guys have no idea how happy this makes me. I love this class so much. The fact that they have just buffed the class right out the gate is so awesome. Now, Jacob, when they just buff the Monk, why is that okay? Well, obviously, you know that we need to not buff the other classes because they're already really good, like Wizard. I'm not saying that the 2024 Player's Handbook should just come out with a bunch of buffs for all the classes. To be honest, I'm kind of open to Paladins not being able to smite as much as they normally do. I have for a long time thought that Paladin smite was really strong, but I've always gave it the compromise because it's a core part of the class. When you're playing D&D and you're in combat and you're doing damage, you want to be able to be as cool as everybody else and not feel like you're falling behind because your class wasn't designed well. It then falls onto the DM to award magic items or give special buffs to those players so that they can also feel like they're doing something within the game. I don't even really think Ranger needed to have a giant buff, which is also why I loved the rogue abilities. The new rogue abilities didn't necessarily buff the class, but they gave you more options about what you could do with the class. It let you customize your character more. It let you do a lot more with your turns. And overall, I feel like playing rogue in the 2024 Player's Handbook is going to feel like a lot of fun because you're going to have lots of options and lots of versatility for many types of situations, many types of campaigns, and many types of games that lots of DMs could run. It also makes you feel like you're more in tune with your character when you get to do certain abilities that fit into the flavor and fantasy of your character, which is why I don't like the horse thing. Going into this video, I know that Monk is not super powerful. Yes, it would be cool if we had more key options. We'll see what we get here because I haven't read this yet. But the fact that they open the gate, hey, this class isn't very strong. Let's make it a little stronger to keep up with everybody else. This is what the class needed. A monk and a paladin could maybe 1v1 and you wouldn't know who would win. Like, that's cool. Also, the fact that you can have any martial melee weapon with the light property. Now you can really make a specialized kind of monk that is still fitting in line with the identity of the class. I wouldn't like this if it was any weapon, but because it's still the light property that qualifies as a monk weapon, now it's not nearly as restrictive when you're making your character. This is a great change. Like, instantly in this first ability, this is such a great change. I'm gonna do this from now on. Mia, Sahar has this now. I'm literally gonna message this to her right now. I'm literally recording the video right now. All right, rant over, sorry. Monk's Focus, level 2. Monk's Focus is a new name for a familiar level 2 feature where you'll find Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, and Step of the Wind, the last two having seen some fun improvements. Patient Defense now allows you to take the disengage action as a bonus action without spending any focus points. Right, so this was in the Unearthed Arcana. It's no longer called Key, I believe it's called Focus now, which, fine. Patient Defense now allows you to take the disengage action as a bonus action without spending any focus points, but if you do spend a focus point, you can disengage and dodge as the same bonus action. Yo, that's so cool. So you can just disengage as a bonus action as a monk now, but if you spend a focus point, also all attack rolls against you have disadvantage. This is awesome! Likewise, Step of the Wind allows you to dash as a bonus action. No focus point required. Oh my god, this is so cool. This is just like the rogue ability. I love this, but there's more you can do with it. No focus point required, but spending one allows you to disengage and dash as a part of the same bonus action. Using a focus point for Step of the Wind also doubles your jump distance for a turn, so go ahead, you can definitely clear that gap. Yes! This is awesome! Oh, that's so much fun! This is so cool! At level 2, you have so many things you can do as a monk, and you have good damage? Yo, I did not expect monk comeback. This is awesome! So I think I know what we're offsetting here a little bit. I think because monk is not going to get the weapon specializations, they're instead going to get this. My slightly pessimistic worry is that the weapon actions are going to make every other class really, really strong, and then monk's just not going to feel on the same level because they don't have them. But honestly, these are really cool. The fact that monk can disengage and dash just always, but then also spend focus points to get like more out of it, and they can grapple and shove with dex, and they can use weapons. Like, it's really good. Uncanny Metabolism, level 2. This new level 2 feature allows a monk character to regain all expended focus points when they roll initiative once per long rest. Additionally, when you use this feature, you also regain hit points equal to your monk level plus a roll of your martial arts die. WotC, you make me so mad. WotC, you make me so angry. Also, Marcy was coloring on me earlier. I'm basically a coloring book with all my tattoos. I'm really shocked. Why is this gonna be in the same book as Ranger? Maybe I'm just really missing something with Ranger. Guys, did we consider that we're all severely missing something with Ranger? Like maybe they know what they're doing, and 2024 Player's Handbook's actually going to be really good. Deflect attacks, level 3. Formally deflect missiles, as the name might suggest. I'm just waiting for there to be like, you can't do this anymore. Now it's a spell. Deflect attacks now has much more usability. No longer limited to ranged weapon attacks. Deflect attacks allows you to reduce the damage of any attack that includes bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. The damage is reduced by 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier and monk level. If you reduce the damage to 0, you can use a focus point to redirect the attack. Sorry, I had to look at this art. I just could not help but look at this art. Oh my god. Powerful stance. Powerful monk, 1 quadrillion aura points just for level 1 through 3. Depending on if the attack was a melee or ranged attack, you can target a creature within 5 feet or 60 feet, respectively, and force them to make a saving throw against the damage based on your martial arts die and your dexterity modifier. This is so cool. Oh my god. You can do melee attacks now. This is so awesome. Monks are gonna be like, run in. Every attack against them has disadvantage. So they're just like dodging everything. They get up to somebody. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go in for the attack. And they like either block or like catch the blade, move it, and make them hit the enemy. Like, this is so cool. I love monks so much. At level 3, the monk class gets to pick its subclass, choosing from the 4 options: Warrior of Mercy, Warrior of Shadow, Warrior of the Elements, or Warrior of the Open Hand. That's cool. They're calling the subclasses warriors. I like that a lot. They're not soldiers. I'm a warrior. All right, so for Warrior of Mercy, it looks like it's mostly unchanged. Hand of Healing is now a magic action, which is just improving some clarity in the rules. And you can also use Flurry of Healing and Harm a number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier per long rest. The Warrior of Shadow really shines in 2024, pun intended. Keep up the funny puns, guys. I love it. Shadow Arts has been reworked, allowing you to cast Darkness and Minor Illusion. Hang on. Shadow Monk is iconic. Shadow Monk is also really strong. If I was in the design room, I wouldn't be like, yes, let's debuff Shadow Monk. I'd be like, let's find a way to give every other subclass an ability that is as good as being able to teleport into darkness all the time. Okay, so Way of Shadow, at 3rd level, you can use key points to duplicate the effect of certain spells. As an action, you spend 2 key points to cast Darkness, Dark Vision, Pass Without a Trace, Silence without material components, and you get Minor Illusion. Shadow Arts has been reworked, allowing you to cast Darkness and Minor Illusion, and you can move the field of darkness you create. The feature also gives you Dark Vision or upgrades yours if you have it. That's great. As you level up, your level 11 improved Shadow Step allows you to spend a focus point to ignore the dim light or darkness restriction of Shadow Step and make an unarmed strike immediately after you teleport as a part of the same bonus action. Okay, I didn't expect them to buff it. They made it better? Finally, Cloak of Shadow is a new level 17 feature that allows you to wreath yourself in shadows. This effect lasts for 1 minute until you're incapacitated or you end your turn in bright light. While it's active, oh, that's cool. That's a cool condition. The Shadow Warrior Monk, you're gonna wanna stay like in darkness. I love that. While it's active, you have the invisible condition. That's so cool. It's cool that you can go into bright light so long as you don't end your turn in it. Oh, that's so fun. Especially because Monk can move so fast. That's gonna feel so cool that you're invisible and you're running around the battlefield just like in between the points of light and you're staying in the darkness. Dude, that's so cool. You can move through occupied spaces as if they were difficult terrain, and you can use Flurry of Blows without needing to spend any focus points. What? Okay, this may be the first time in reading any of the 2024 stuff where I'm like, that's maybe too strong. Oh, it's level 17. This is fine. This is actually perfect. You stay in darkness and you can move your darkness with you. Oh my God, this is so much fun. There's so much like comboing you can do. This is so cool. I'm so happy right now, guys. Warrior of the Elements. All right, this one's not good. This one has always been bad. Everybody wants to play Last Airbender Monk, and they took the Ranger formula on that one in the original 2014 Player's Handbook. They were just like, you guys can just cast spells, and it's not great. So let's see what they did. Warrior of the Elements has the most number of changes and has received a lot of new and exciting changes. You raise me up! Elemental Attunement now gives you 10-foot reach of your unarmed strikes. So it's like the not the open hand, the one where you get multiple arms. There's another subclass that does this. And deals your choice of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. You can also push or pull a target 10 feet on a failed save. On top of that, you learn the new Elementalism cantrip. They get a unique cantrip. I really hope it's a unique cantrip that only they get. As you level up, you'll get the ability to create AoE elemental bursts, fun ways to navigate the battlefield, and damage resistances to aid survivability. Yes. I am a broken man lying dead in the dust, slowly bleeding out into the dirt. Looking above me, I see my assassin, Jeremy Crawford with the Ranger class. His gun, Tasha's cauldron of everything. And then I see a spark of light, a glimmer in his eye. And then I know everything's gonna be alright. He missed my heart. And while my body may be shattered, I am not dead. For the glimmer in his eye was that of the new monk. And then in his other eye, it's also the rogue. Warrior of the open hand. Open hand technique remains largely unchanged with the exception of one of its options only blocking opportunity attacks rather than all reactions. Oh, you can hit them with the opening hand technique and then they can be knocked prone, pushed 15 feet away, or can't take reactions. So instead they've made it so they just can't do opportunity attacks. That's fine. Wholeness of Body has been moved to a bonus action. Whoa, Wholeness of Body, which was an action you can heal hit points 3 times your monk level. Now it's a bonus action. Now heals a number of hit points equal to a roll of your martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier. So it heals a little less, but it's a bonus action now. I think that's worth it. However, you can still use it a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier per long rest rather than just once. That's great. So you get more uses of it too. And okay, thank you to whoever wrote this one. And they're not writing it like, don't worry guys, it's better than the old one. All right, you can use it 3 times more. It just says rather than 3 times your monk level. This is what the old one was. This is what the new one is. Doesn't sound condescending. The new Fleet Step feature allows you to use Step of the Wind as a part of any bonus action that wasn't already used to perform Step of the Wind. And Quivering Palm, wait, what? So you can use Dash as a bonus action where you can disengage and dash, but you can do it on anything that has a bonus action? Yo, that's awesome. I love that they're like combining these abilities together so you can just have a huge turn. That's so much fun. And Quivering Palm has been rebalanced. It now costs 4 focus points and does 10d12 force damage on a failed save rather than reducing the target to 0 hit points and half as much on a successful save. What did the original one cost? It was 3 key points, con save, or they take 10d10 necrotic damage. I gotta be 100% honest with you guys. I have never played or DM'd a game where anybody has used Quivering Palm before. So I have no idea how this looks or how it plays. I don't know. Cool. This to me just seems a little more straightforward, but I'm also being very forgiving because we've gotten so many cool changes already that I'm like, whatever, the 17th level ability doesn't insta-kill. Oh no. Stunning Strike, level 5. Stunning Strike. Okay, here's where we're going to get controversial, all right? Who knows what's going to happen here? Stunning Strike's pretty legendary ability of Monk. I personally think it's a little strong. We'll see what they've done. Stunning Strike, a popular Monk feature, has received a rebalance in the 2024 version of the class. It now requires the use of a Monk weapon or unarmed strike. Did it not need that before? Stunning Strike. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack. It now requires the use of a monk weapon or unarmed strike. If successfully applied, the stunned condition now ends at the start of your next turn rather than at the end. And it can only be used once per turn. However, if the target succeeds on their saving throw against Stunning Strike, their speed is halved until the start of your next turn, and the next attack made against them is done so with advantage. Oh, that's cool. I really like that. That still gives you something out of this. What I'm always doing in my games is most monsters will legendary resistance their way out of a Stunning Strike, but even if you still use it, their speed is halved and you can make attack rolls at advantage against them, or the next attack is made at advantage. So I'm not really understanding this. It now requires the use of a monk weapon or unarmed strike. If successfully applied, I'm not sure what this means. Maybe Crawford can give us some insight. Okay, Crawford did not explain. I don't know what that means. I guess we'll find out, but I really like this. The fact that stunned still applies some sort of condition and you can't just mega stack it all the time and you're still getting something out of it even if they succeed is incredible. I really, really like this. Empowered Strike, level 5. With this new version of Key Empowered Strike, you can change the damage type of your unarmed strike to force damage. Handy for getting around those resistances. That's so cool. Notice that it's only unarmed strike strikes. It's not your weapon strikes. So heightened focus, level 10. Heightened focus is now a level 10 feature that improves several of your core monk features. First, flurry of blows gains an additional attack, bringing the total to 3 per bonus action. Oh my god. Next up, patient defense now grants you temporary hit points based on 2 rolls of your martial arts die. Finally, when you use Step of the Wind, you can move one willing creature that's large or smaller along with you until the end of their turn, and they don't provoke opportunity attacks as you do. You can take somebody with you. Not only are you having 1 billion attacks, but you're also getting the ability to tank, and you have maneuverability with your allies. Self-restoration, level 10. Another new level 10 feature, self-restoration lets you avoid the levels of exhaustion you would normally accumulate when going without food or water. At the end of your turn, end the charmed, frightened, or poisoned condition on yourself. That's so awesome. Deflect energy, an upgrade to deflect attacks. Deflect energy allows you to reduce the damage of attacks of any damage type. This is my favorite thing. This is my favorite thing. You can get shot with a crossbow bolt and throw it back. You can throw an Eldritch Blast back at somebody. Any damage type that is thrown at you or you're attacked with, as long as it's not an AoE. If you can't throw back fireballs, that would be insane. Perfect focus, level 15. If when you roll initiative, you are below 4 focus points and you don't use Uncanny Metabolism, you immediately regain enough focus points to bring you back up to 4. Perfect for when you're on your 5th or 6th encounter of the day. Your focus points come back so fast. Not only do you get them at the beginning of initiative, but also they'll come back on short rests. Is so good. I'm really impressed and surprised by this. Superior defense, level 18. At the start of your turn, you can spend 3 focus points to gain resistance to all damage types except for force for 1 minute. Or until you're incapacitated. Super cool. I love that they're making the monk sustainable, that they can just take tons of damage. And then epic boon. The epic boon they chose for monk is irresistible offense. First, increase your strength or dexterity ability score up by 1 to a maximum of 30. And then bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage you deal always ignores resistance. Additionally, when you roll a 20 on an attack roll, you can deal additional damage equal to the ability score you increased with this feat. As the level 20 feature of the monk, body and mind increase your dexterity and wisdom scores by 4, each up to a maximum of 25. I really like that. That's really cool. Just like you got to level 20, your abilities are beyond human. I did not expect this. These are great changes that even if you don't play with the 2024 Player's Handbook, that people will be using and stealing for their games. Like Monk, I think once this book comes out, is just going to forever be an amazing class. And I really like that. It frustrates me that we know how to make a really cool class, but we didn't realize that with some other classes. So instead of being upset about everything, maybe there is something about Ranger that I'm missing, and we will learn more about it once we have the book out. I'm willing to be hopeful. I'm always willing to be excited and hopeful over doom and gloom. And so maybe this new spell casting thing with Ranger is like the coolest thing ever, and I don't know. This has been XP to Level 3, signing off with the make sure to start your games at Level 3 so we all get the flavor that we want out of our characters, because that's the stories that we like to tell when we're creating the character fantasy for our characters. And I do. Am I the only one that thinks subclass first? I rarely think class first. I'm thinking subclass first most of the time, and it's just going to be weird now that I'm going to have to pretend to Level 1. Okay, anyways, bye!